start today's practice, our Hatha practice, back on your back. So today's class is hybrid. We're going online and in person at the same time with an opening intention, with a good one. I just, believe it or not, just drew this from the deck today, and it says, I am safe. It's only change. I'll cross all bridges with joy and ease. The old unfolds into wonderful new experiences. My life gets better all the time. I am safe. It's only change. I am safe. It is only change. So that'll be our ongoing theme today, is that we're going to try to feel as safe as we can in our own physical bodies, watching and admiring the changes that happen as we move through our practice. Letting the breath ease. So we're going to start with a little bit of a guided breathing practice today. And as you're rested on your back, I want you to take your hands, let them rest on the floor on either sides of you, palms flipped up to the ceiling. Now as you inhale, let your index finger curl in and touch your thumb. As you exhale, bring your index finger down and away from that thumb. Next, inhale, curl in the next finger in the hand and let it touch the thumb. Exhale and release. Just kind of move through this until all 5 fingers have had a little tap. All 4 fingers tapped into that thumb, guiding your breath. So the inhale curls the new finger in, lets it tap. Exhale, lets it fall back out. Let's do that again. Repeat. Index finger starting first. And then let it go. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears, your back stay nice and relaxed. Knees can be bent or legs can be long, just little finger taps today. Bringing them in to touch the thumb and then back out to release. Once you've gone through all 5 again, use your inhale breath to bring all fingers together to make a fist. Exhale breath, let those fingers fall away from the palm of the hand and relax. If the knees have been bent, let the legs go long. As you pull the fingers in, flex the toes to the ceiling. Let your body become tight. Exhale, let the fingers fall away. Relax the shoulders, relax the toes and heels. Go one more time. So find the tension. And then find the release. One more time, find the tension. And then the release. Gently bending the knees, walking the heels of the feet in a little closer. Palms will flip over, let them face the ground next to you on either sides of the hips. Inhale, breath, hips lift up off the earth, back of the head is comfortable into the ground. Hugging those thighs towards one another. You're in bridge pose for one more round of breath. Inhale to lift the heels up off the earth. Exhale, just let this slowly start to fall all the way back down into the earth. Last thing to hit the mat is going to be those heels. Bring the knees into the chest. Take the hands to the tops of those kneecaps. Hug them in and then push them away. So the inhale breath pulls the knees in tight. The exhale breath allows for a little lengthening in the spine and the arms go straight. 2 more. So just hug and then release that back out. Hug and then release that back out. From here, reach the hands up towards the sky and then offer the feet in that same direction. Point and flex the toes, flip the hands so that the palms face the ceiling, and then back towards your body. You're just warming up the wrists, warming up the ankles. Let the hands start to float up over your head. Make yourself into a letter L shape. So you've got flexed feet, long arms, low back is in position, down to the earth. Soften at your elbows. Let your arms take more of a cactus shape. And then you're going to turn your heels in towards one another. Now they might touch and your toes turn outward, or you might keep a little bit of space between your feet and don't necessarily make your heels touch. As you exhale, bring those heels in towards your body, knees bend, and then push it back up. So obviously this is going to be most advanced, keeping those heels connected and kind of stamping up and down on the ceiling. Might feel a little bit more relaxed if you keep a little bit of space between your heels. Last one. Hands come back forward, look for the kneecaps, but then we're just gonna roll them around to the fronts of the shins. Hug those knees in close, rock and roll a little bit right and left. And then start to move yourself to find a seated posture. So maybe you rock and roll on your spine, maybe even a couple extras before coming up to find your seat. And I'm just gonna turn so that I can see everyone. But you just get comfortable on your mat however you see fit. Spine is nice and tall. Hands reach out to the sides of the body, and then just let your neck kind of lead the way. Maybe it leans right and left. Maybe your chin falls down towards your chest and you do a little sweeping motion. All right, when you feel ready, the next natural inhale lifts hands high to the sky. Exhale, right hand falls down towards the floor. Reach up and over with that left arm. Inhale, bring this back up tall. Exhale, take your time all the way over. Inhale, breath back up to the ceiling. Let's go again, all the way over. Back up. Take your time. Yep, over to the other side. Back up nice and tall. Exhale, let yourself fold down over the lap. Perfect. When you feel ready, these hands are going to start to walk back towards you, and we're going to look for tabletop. Wrists are going to go underneath the shoulders. Knees are going to go under your hips. Just take your time to find that sturdy tabletop position. When the inhale breath comes, let the belly drop down towards the earth. Chin lifts, tail lifts. When you exhale, round the back, around the spine. Just a few more times through that simple cat-cow motion. Pretty basic, something we're all very familiar with here. Warming up the 6 movements of the spine, taking 1 and 2 right now. The next time you hit that angry cat spine, go ahead and sit back onto your heels. Let's warm up 3 and 4. Hands walk towards the right edge of the mat. You sit towards that left heel and let the side body do the talking. Really stretch the hands over to that side. Sit back into opposite hip, really absorbing that shape. Perfect. Hands walk back towards center. Let's send them over to the other side of the mat. Just as you did before, reaching in that direction. Knowing you can always add something like a block underneath the hands, especially if you need a little more for the outer edge of the shoulder. back. Continue to find that breath. And start to walk back towards the center of the mat. And back up to table. Go ahead and put the right hand directly underneath your face. Inhale, reach the left hand high to the sky. Hold your table. Little twisting motion through the core, warming up that twist for 5. And hand comes down, switch sides. This makes number 6. The 6 different movements our spine makes. Reaching again for that twist, relaxing the neck and shoulders, but reaching with the fingers. Beautiful. Hands come back down and look for the floor. Putting yourself back into that table, take a cat-cow. Belly is going to drop down on your inhale. Round on your exhale. Right foot extends out nice and long behind you. Go ahead and bend the right knee. Flex the foot so it stays nice and flat. Staying here, 2 more breaths. Slight pull of the heel back towards your glute. Really engaging the thigh muscle, glute muscle. Pulling your upper ribs towards the top of your mat, the crown of the head pulling forward. Extend that leg nice and long, and then just do a little tap here. So the toes come down and tap, and then lift. And then they tap, and lift. Last one. And once they lift to that nice long straight leg, go ahead and step all the way over to the opposite edge of your mat. Look over opposite shoulder. So if that right leg is extended, you're looking at the left edge of your mat, left shoulder. Perfect. Go ahead and bring that right foot back to the center of the mat, and then you're just going to take a big step. Right foot's going to step all the way through towards your hands. Low lunge, right foot's on the ground, left knee's on the earth, hands reach tall. Take the hands to somewhat of a basket grip and just place them behind the back of the head. Inhale, breath here, let the shoulders go nice and wide. Exhale, just pull the shoulders slowly forward, elbows towards the front of your mat, and then open back up. So just take a couple of those, just kind of playing around with some simple movement in the upper back, a little bit of movement in the shoulder joint, a little bit of increased focus on balance. One more time. Arms are going to reach tall, and then you'll take your left hand to the inside of this front foot and take a little twist. Toes can curl under on this back foot. Lift the knee if you're looking for a little more challenge today, or keep that knee down on the earth. Hand moves from the sky down to the mat. Take a big step, front foot, all the way to the back, your first downward dog of this practice. Staying in that shape, however it feels best to you. Maybe some movement in the ankles, the knees, the hips. And then we'll just take your time. Knees will drop back down. We're looking for tabletop. Wrists under shoulders. Left leg extends. Left knee bends. Slight little tuck of that heel back towards your glute with a big flexed foot, and just hold. Pulling your upper ribs towards the front of the mat, crown of the head is forward. Feeling that extra attention in the glutes, the inner thighs. Leg gets extended. Take a little toe tap here. Down, and then lift. Keep that foot flexed. Down, and lift. Continuing to breathe. this time now, and step that left foot towards the right edge of your mat. Look over that right shoulder. Big C curve of the spine. Foot comes back to the middle of the mat, and then we step it all the way forward. Left foot's on the ground, right knee's on the mat. Take your time, hands come up. Now instead of taking that basket grip again, we're gonna bring our fingertips down and let them touch the top of your shoulders. Kind of a, I don't know, in kids yoga we call this owl. We do lots of twists. So elbows down, or fingertips down to the tops of the shoulders, and then you're just gonna take some big circles with those elbows. So again, this is testing that same balance that we worked the other side. Maybe do a couple to the front direction, then try to add a little grease to that shoulder joint as you go backwards. And just be kind, because it's not uncommon to feel kind of, for lack of better words, like crunchy in your shoulders. Sometimes they feel like a little tight and need a little bit of lubrication to get moving. Perfect, last one. Hands will unroll from that reach up. You're gonna take right hand to the inside of the front foot. Twist just as you did before, remembering you can keep that knee on the ground, or curl toes, add a little challenge, lift that foot, or the knee rather, up off the ground. Perfect, these look really good. Hand that's in the sky takes its time. Let it reach down and find your mat. Front foot steps back. Downward facing dog again. Flip upside down. Remembering that if you need to, anytime that down dog is there, you can drop to your knees and sit your hips back on your heels and breathe. Of course, making sure that breath is still just as much a part of this practice, whether we have a mask on or not. All right, small steps with your feet, friends. Walk your way up here to the front of the mat. Find a half lift, long spine, crown points forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the hands as high as you can make them go. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, bend the knees, take yourself to chair pose. Arms extend out in a lightning bolt shape. Big exhale, fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Take your right foot, step it back towards the back of your mat. Spin that right heel so it touches the ground. We're looking for warrior one. I'm gonna rotate so I can see you a little better. So you got that right foot back, front knee is bent, arms are up nice and tall. Ideally, our hips are square forward if we can get them that way. All right, from here, just take the arms out and do just some little arm circles in a T shape. That is, if space allows. Good. All right, then just let those arms come back up. Look for a letter Y. Turn the palms in to face one another. Maybe take the gaze up a little higher. Sink into that front knee. Big exhale. Hands are going to look for the floor. Go ahead and step front foot to the back of the mat. Downward facing dog. Walk it out. From here, go ahead and drop to your knees. And then you're going to take your right foot straight out to the side. So it might even step off your mat. Straight out to the side. Hands are going to lift up above your head. And then lean towards that long right leg. Stay in that shape, 2 more breaths. Hands come back towards sky, and then you're going to take your left hand down towards the earth or to a block, and then see if this other leg can kind of lift up off the ground. Flex that foot really strong. We're going to play with half moon at about our midpoint today as a point of balance. So this is a good warm up to that shape. Perfect. Take that foot back down to the ground. Sweep both hands back up to the sky. Exhale back down. Find your down dog again. Step that foot back into the middle of the mat. Lift your hips back up. Walk them out. Any kind of tensions hiding in your outer hip, go ahead. Walk it out. All right, small steps, a leap, a hop, whatever you feel most comfortable with, getting these feet back up towards your hands. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the hands as high as they can go up above the head. As the exhale comes back to that chair. Sink down, fold towards the toes, exhale. Halfway up. Back down. This time, left foot is going to step back. Left heel spins just enough to let those toes touch. Warrior 1. So see if you can find your hips. Get them square forward. Arms come up. And then go out and find that T again. Do a little one arm, or you can be doing both arms. Testing a little balance, getting a lot of mobility in those shoulders because we're going to want them to be able to open for us when we take that half moon. Go back to your Y. And this time when you hit your Y, flip your palms so that they face outward. Notice what that does in your shoulders. Put those shoulders down where they belong. Triceps are engaged. Arms feel strong. See if you can fight through this. We want to do this, but see if we can push through and find length through those fingers. Good. Hands are going to cartwheel. Front foot steps back, down dog. Walk it out. Breathe through that pose. Really allow the breath to find its way back into your body. Knees drop down. Left foot steps out to the side this time. Inside edge touching the floor outside your mat. Hands are up. And then you're over. Keeping your chest as square forward as you can. Good. Watching this top shoulder, it kind of wants to fall. See if we can lift it. Yes, both of you just fixed that perfectly. All right, hand that's in the sky. Let's take it over. Put it on the earth, even with about your forehead. And then see if you can welcome this other foot up off the ground. Take your half moon. Length through these fingers, big flexed foot on that lifted leg. All right, circle it back, find the earth. Hands go back out in front of you, lift up, another round of downward facing dog. This time, turn your down dog into a 3-legged dog. I'm gonna walk around just a little bit so I can shift here. Right foot lifts high. And then bring it down, switch it out, try the left foot. Just seeing if you can test a little balance. Beautiful. Small steps or a large leap. Back up here to your hands. Halfway up. Back down. All the way up. Hands come and find the heart. All right, excellent. All right, for those of us in the space, we're gonna step back with our left foot and then turn our bodies so that we're wide on the mat. All right, perfect. That way I think you'll be able to see me good. So we're gonna take our right foot first, turn your right foot towards the front of your mat, go into a nice warrior two. Now, if you think you would be best assisted for our next round, probably would have been smart for me to tell you to get this. So if you need to come out of your stance and go find your block, sorry about that, that would have been smart. Just get sideways on your mat, right foot is forward, get back into warrior two. Not the best cueing there, but you guys knew where I was going. So take it from warrior two. We're gonna dance one round. So flip the front hand. You're gonna lean away to make sure we really got that side body open. And then you'll lean back towards that front knee. Maybe you want a little side body work today, so you put two hands up in the air, as if you got a basketball or a beach ball between those hands. Back up to your warrior two. Now here is where we're gonna look for this block. So the hand's gonna go reach for that block. We're gonna set it about 3 or 4 inches in front of your front foot. That will be your place of focus with your hand. Front leg becomes your standing leg. Back leg lifts, flexed toes. And then maybe even bring the other arm up towards the sky. If that's too big, you can just look like this. Put a hand on your hip. Try to lift that back foot, even if it's just a couple inches up off the floor. Start flexing and grow from there. One more nice round of breath. Now it's a big challenging pose. Looks awesome. Beautiful. Bring that down. Good. Now you can always use furniture at home. So if that was a big challenge, those of you at home, put a hand on the couch. Julie, if you want to walk away from your mat at any time, using the wall, you're welcome to do that too, because I know that's a big shape. We're going to do it 2 times. So that was your first round. We're going to flip feet. Go the other direction now. So now you know the rhythm. We're just going to do 1 round of warrior dance. So you might want to move your block from this side of your stance to the other side of your stance. The first one kind of takes a little bit to know what we're doing. Lean away, reverse warrior, beautiful. And then try to find that side angle. Many of you found your beach ball arms. You put something between your hands and you reach to the side. That makes your obliques have to turn on much more. You keep your core engaged as your chest pushes out into the middle of the room. Back to that warrior two. All right, now we look for balance. The block's out in front of you. Hand goes toward the block. Start taking your time to lift. You can turn so that your hip is on a wall and have the support of a wall behind you. You can turn and just put your hand on the wall in general and go out in space, or continue to use that block. And continue to breathe. One more round of breath. These look fantastic. It's a big shape. Holding that shape. All right, ease your way back down. Turn on your mat so you're just sideways. Work those hips a little bit in a circle perhaps. If space allows for a forward fold, you can take a nice big wide fold here. Maybe peace sign fingers. Go to the inner edges between big toe and second toe. Maybe your hands just kind of hang in somewhat of a rag doll. Breath find its way into this space. It's a big balanced shape. You did really great. All right, inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach. All the way back up. Turn the heels in to face one another. Sink down, take a goddess. Chest is square to the side. Now from here, you're going to take this goddess shape. Your left hand is going to reach and try to tap your right knee. Yep, sounds funny. You can do it. Reach on over there. Beautiful. Then bring it back up. And then tap the other side. Back up. Go one more time each direction. So you're sinking down still. You've got a little bit of pull on those inner thighs. Now the deeper you sink, the further those knees are away from you. So you might not be able to touch the actual knee, but get into that inner thigh. It's a big shape. Beautiful. Stand up tall. Let those hips out. They might need to kind of rock a little bit. And then we're going to repeat our half moon. So take the block back to the first side you started with. Go right into a good warrior two in that direction. And then take aim at that block. You know what you're looking for. The hand's going to reach forward towards that block. You might even pick it up off the ground and take it with you when you go into the balance. Maybe the hand goes down right as the leg comes up. Focus on trying to stack that long leg on top of your standing leg. Flexed long leg, flexed foot. Beautiful. Take your time, let that come down. Coming out is just as important as getting in. A little bit of movement if you need it. Or it might be nice just to stand tall, lift the shoulders to the ears, and then just sigh them away. Opposite foot turns. Block repositions. This time maybe try something a little different. Put the block in your hand. And when you go into the shape, take the block with you. So start thinking about bringing it to the floor as you lift off that back leg. Easier, harder. You can make observations. And it's not uncommon to have one side that you feel like a rock star, and then the other side you feel like a complete klutz. That is okay. And maybe rock star is a bit much, but you feel a little more confident on one side than the other. That's very normal. This is a big shape. One more breath. Beautiful. Let that foot come back down. Pick yourself back up. I'm going to reach both hands high to the sky in a wide stance. Take a little baby back bend. And then just take it straight into a big forward fold. Reaching to the center of the feet. Let your head be heavy. It might even feel nice to bend the knees and do a little swaying side to side. You can even reach for that block you were using. Maybe bring it into the middle of your stance. And rock yourself side to side. Good work. All right, start heel toeing the feet a little closer to one another. And we're going to take ourselves down to a squat. Your toes can turn slightly outward and you can sink down right in between those heels. Even if you're facing the side, that's all right. Bring your knees together. If you've got a block handy and you want to stick it back under the tip of the tail and just sit on it, feel free to reach back there and sit on a block if you want, or if it's too much and you just want to come all the way down to the earth, you can do that too. Give yourself about 2 more breaths in that shape. Beautiful. Just take your time. You're going to transition from that squat, kind of turning on your mat, starting to bring your seat down to the earth. And I want you to just kind of look around in your space for a couple props. If you have something that might work like a strap, you might reach for that. If you don't have a strap, it's perfectly okay. I'm going to show you how to use your hands. But if you had a towel or a blanket, it might work too, to just kind of make it somewhat narrowed out. Yep, you know what to do. We're going to reach for the strap if you've got one. Pick a foot. We're going to do it on both legs, and we've got plenty of space here in the studio. So it doesn't really matter which foot you start with. At home, those of you practicing with someone else with you, you might need to pick accordingly, but just lean back. Get yourself strapped up. We haven't done a hamstring stretch with a strap in a little while online. So those in person, I'm sure, have been missing this one as well too. So just let the back settle into the earth. And you can make choice here. You can just stay right where you are. Or you can use the inhale breath to slowly bring your toes a little closer to your face. And the exhale breath to give a little bit more length. Or stay still. I'm modeling it with one leg long and straight up towards the ceiling. Opposite leg. I've got a bent knee like a kickstand. It might be better to let that leg go long. If you choose and want to bring this foot out towards the outer edge of your mat, feel free to open it a little wider, letting that foot come out to the side, but you certainly don't have to. If that feels too much or your equipment just doesn't feel right trying to do that shape, you certainly don't have to do that. So again, if you don't have a strap, your hands can just be on the back of the leg, or you can be using a towel or a blanket, some other accessory that might have been easy to grab. And we'll take just a couple more breaths there. If the foot's been out to the side, start bringing it back towards center. Maybe take it slightly across the midline just for a little IT band stretch. So just go slightly over to the other side of the mat. And then just take your time back towards center. You can bend the knee as you bring it down, or you can let this leg go long and ease it back down to the mat. Sometimes I like to lay just for a moment, making a little observation between my legs. One often feels almost like it's floating in comparison to the other, noticing the subtle differences before we go stretch that other side. So whatever foot you did not have in the strap, let's go ahead and welcome that one in this time. Elevate it up towards the ceiling, pushing again through the heel, knowing you can have yourself a little kickstand with the opposite leg, especially if your low back's feeling pretty tense today. Or if you feel like you're holding on too much with your shoulders. If just like you did before, you want to let that foot go out to the side, feel free, or maybe you let it stay in the middle. Holding onto the strap with one or both hands, adjusting your grip at any time that you feel like your shoulders are doing too much work. You want to make sure that they've got a little bit of relaxed feeling to them, not a lot of tension. For those who took that foot out to the side, start bringing it back towards center, maybe taking it even slightly across the midline. A nice IT band stretch. Back towards center and then start easing that leg back down. You'll be finished with your strap or your blanket, whatever you've been using. You can kind of just set that slowly off to the sides. Maybe the arms even reach up overhead. And you just let your body get nice and long here on the mat. Soften the shoulders, maybe bend the elbows. Palms might even be flipped up towards the sky. And take yourself back through that fingertip tap style breath. As you inhale, bring your index finger in to touch your thumb. As you exhale, let it out. Move through each of your fingers. And just let the shoulders slowly start to bring the arms down lower. Put these alongside the sides of your body. And then just bend your knees and walk the heels of the feet back up the mat. Right hand goes to rest across the heart, left hand across your belly, and then just let your knees windshield wiper right and left. Right foot picks itself up to the sky. And then just bring that right foot over and place it on top of the left knee or just below the left knee. Flex the right foot, you've got a figure four. Hands can stay rested on heart and belly, or maybe they even wrap around the outer edges of the legs as you lift that left foot up off the ground. Taking your time to breathe into this figure four shape, rocking around a little bit if it feels good. Remembering that if it's too big to bring that right foot all the way over to your left knee, you can certainly just kind of crisscross a little lower down by the ankles. Rock around. Those looking for a little more can let the elbows kind of scoop up that right leg and extend your left leg down the mat. And we'll just take your time as that feels good. Start to transition all of that back to earth. Left foot lifts up off the ground, points towards the sky. And then left foot comes over, a nice flex foot to rest on top of that right knee. Figure four on this side, staying on the earth if you like, or lifting that right foot up off the ground. Remembering your hands can reach around the outer edges of the thighs, or you can take left hand through the opening you've created, that little hole in the middle of your four shape, and reach around and look for the back of the thigh. You can add a little ankle movement, pointing and flexing of the toes, a little swaying side to side. moving that leg and extending the opposite leg long if you wanted a little deeper stretch. And just kind of inviting yourself out of that whenever you feel ready. Maybe taking another long body stretch with hands up overhead, toes in the opposite direction of those fingertips. Inhale, breath, lift your shoulders, head, neck, hands, and place them towards the right corner of your mat. Walk your heels, if it feels okay, towards that same right corner so that your spine starts to make kind of a banana shape. Big opening down that left side of the body. Taking your time, starting to walk those heels back, hands back. And then we'll go to the other side. Head, neck, shoulders, arms, fingers, reach over to the other side of the mat. And then walk those heels slowly as well over to that other edge. Allowing for this to be a nice opening down that side body. Heels walking themselves back towards the center of the mat. Head, neck, shoulders moves back as well. And then we'll settle into our backs. If traditional Savasana feels good to you, allow yourself to explore that shape with legs fully extended down the mat. Heels in position, toes rolling towards outer edges. Hands out towards the sides, heart lifted towards the ceiling, and close your eyes. The pattern of your breath here is nice and slow. We'll take ourselves through one final round of our finger taps. Comfortably resting on your back with your palms up. Each time you take a deep inhale and a deep exhale, tap your thumb to your finger. Once you've moved yourself through all fingers, let the hands open and relax. The shoulders move out from beneath our bodies, and our minds start to become quiet. It's very common as you start to head into your final rest for your mind to become flooded with all sorts of different thoughts. Almost impossible to wipe the slate clean. Just know what a powerful tool you have in just staying connected with your breath. Anytime you start to feel pulled from this space, revisit your breath. Maybe your finger taps, maybe watching a light come in through the nose, maybe visualizing certain body parts relaxing one by one. Whatever mindfulness trick helps you find that calm. Take your time and explore that. Slowly starting to become aware of your breath. Allowing some gentle movements to come back into the body. These might be something as simple as wiggling the fingers, wiggling your toes. Allowing your head to sway easy side to side. Maybe you start to bend the knees and walk them a little closer. Windshield wipering again, or just hugging them in towards the chest. Rocking yourself side to side before ultimately rolling to rest, perhaps on your right. We've been back on our backs for a little while, so it might feel good to lay in somewhat of a fetal position on that right arm. Just kind of hanging out here with the breath. Pressing into the earth as you feel ready. We'll move ourselves back up to a seated posture, perhaps bringing palm to palm, hands resting at the heart, closing the eyes and finding a nice tall spine. Our closing reading today is entitled Good and Bad Habits. The unfortunate thing about this world is that good habits are much easier to give up than bad ones. We vow to exercise every day, and then the weather turns bad. We have conflicts in our schedule, and suddenly we don't feel up to it anymore. We vow to send a thank you note for every gift we receive. But we get busy, time goes by, and then what's the point? We vow to eat healthier foods, and then we're in a rush and the fast food restaurant is close by, so there goes that thought. Why is it so easy to stop doing things that are good for us, yet so hard to give up bad habits? I will try to make my good habits stronger than my bad habits. Perhaps by making a list of all my habits so that I can track how well I'm reinforcing the good ones and extinguishing the bad ones. Good, bad habits. I greatly appreciate you making this time for yourself. Whether you came to the mat for physical reasons or something a little deeper, I'm glad you made space for yourself today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you again. Namaste. Thank you guys so much.